In the city known for its friendly spirit, Winnipeg, a chilling confession has surfaced. A man stands accused, his words echoing in the courtroom as he admits to the unthinkable, the murder of 4 women. Yet, in a twist that has left many reeling, his defense is not one of innocence. Instead, they argue for a verdict of not criminally responsible, citing mental illness as the root cause of his heinous actions. This shocking admission has sent ripples through the community, turning the spotlight onto the often overlooked issue of mental health in criminal cases. The defense team plans to bring forward expert testimony, hoping to convince the judge of their client's unstable state of mind at the time of the murders. A city known for its warmth now finds itself in the icy grip of a horrifying revelation. As the courtroom prepares for this unprecedented case, there are some peculiarities worth noting. This is not your typical trial. Instead of 12 jurors deliberating over the case, a lone judge will hold the weight of decision-making. This unusual approach is due to the complex nature of the defense's argument, which hinges on the concept of criminal responsibility. The defense team for Jeremy Skibicki, the man who has shockingly admitted to the murders of 4 women, plans to argue that their client is not criminally responsible for his actions. This defense, often seen in cases involving mental health issues, is a contentious one, and it will require expert testimony to make its case. The defense team will bring in specialists, psychiatrists, and possibly even neurologists to testify. These experts will delve into the mind of the accused, aiming to convince the judge that Skibicki was not in control of his actions at the time of the murders. They will attempt to paint a picture of a man gripped by mental illness, unable to distinguish right from wrong or to control his violent impulses. However, the prosecution will not sit by idly. They will seek to dismantle this defense piece by piece, using their own experts' evidence and, possibly, the emotional impact of the victims' families' testimonies. The stakes cannot be higher. As we wait for the gavel to fall, the question remains, will the defense's strategy hold water in the face of such heinous acts? Behind the headlines, there are the true victims, 4 women whose lives were brutally cut short. These women, who once had dreams and aspirations, were found in various locations, their remains telling a tale of grim violence. In the midst of this tragedy, one of them remains unidentified, a ghostly figure in an already horrifying story. Their families are left grappling with immeasurable grief, their hearts carrying a heavy burden of loss. Every day is a struggle as they seek answers and yearn for justice. The unanswered questions echo in their minds, a constant reminder of the loved ones they've tragically lost. In the face of this unimaginable adversity, they stand strong, their voices unwavering. Their quest for justice is not just for their loved ones, but also for every woman who has ever fallen prey to such brutality. Their fight is not just against one man, but against a system that failed to protect their daughters, sisters, and mothers. In their memory, the city cries out for justice, but the journey is far from over. Outside the courtroom, the public's voice is loud and clear. A wave of discontent sweeps across Winnipeg, fueled by the decision not to search for some victims' remains due to safety concerns. The city's streets echo with the sound of protests, a cacophony of anger and sorrow that refuses to be silenced. The public's demand for justice is palpable, a raw and visceral call to action that reverberates through the heart of the city. They stand united in their condemnation of the handling of the case, their voices rising in a crescendo of dissatisfaction that cuts through the cold Canadian air. The people of Winnipeg are not just demanding justice for the victims, they are demanding a change in the system that allowed such a tragedy to occur. In the midst of this public outcry, the families of the victims serve as poignant reminders of the human cost of this terrible crime. They are the faces of a city's grief, their pain a stark contrast to the sterile legal proceedings taking place within the courtroom. Their determination for justice, however, is unwavering. They stand at the forefront of the protests, their resolve a beacon of hope in a city enveloped by darkness. As the city waits with bated breath for the trial's outcome, one thing is certain: Winnipeg will never be the same.